Hey everyone, it's me, Sean Capri, and today we are reviewing Forza Motorsport, which launches on Xbox and PC, and it's coming into Game Pass on October 10th. I may have broken my foot, but this game is not broken, and I'm going to tell you all about it. But before we do, would you kindly hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, because we have a ton more Forza content coming at you right here at youtube.com/carpoolgaming. And honestly, I would really appreciate your constructive feedback down in the comments below, so feel free, let me know what you think. And without further ado, let's jump into my review.
Welcome to Forza.
To be honest with you guys, I had like a 3,000 word document to read through and do a voiceover and everything, but it didn't convey what I want to talk to you about with Forza Motorsport, because it almost made it sound boring. And this game is anything but. I've played it for 26 or 27 hours. I've bought a bunch of cars. I've won some championships. I've played some multiplayer. I'm having a great time with Forza, and the scripted version of this was just like, I don't know, just going through menus and options and features, and I just need to be able to express to you that I'm totally obsessed with this game. I guess where the written version was going, and what I found was it was hanging on too much of the detail. When driving cars is, at least to me, like anything but. It's about the feeling, this sense of speed, the connection that I have with my cars, whether it's my Supra or my Mazda RX-7 with that wonderfully weird rotary engine. I know some of you will be jumping into Forza wanting to drive around in Lamborghinis and Bugattis for all you top G's out there. But for me, I really enjoy jumping into the cars that I always wanted to have. And you get them out of the factory, you spend some time with them through the career mode, through multiplayer and rivals and everything like that. And you get to upgrade the car, and it grows with you. There was a moment where I was driving around, I can't remember which track it was, I'll throw the footage here, but I started going through some turns. I strung together like a left and a right, and there was a winding road. And I was like, this feels great. Like, look at me. I did the thing. I did the racing sim thing. And there's a little tool in the top corner. It tells you that you did a good segment, a great segment. You kind of get a score there. And so for me, it was coaching me along and becoming a better driver. And the longer I spent in every car, I got more used to, these ones are a little lighter, these ones brake this way, this one accelerates in this way. I got more comfortable in the car, and then my lap time started going down. I started winning more races, and that's the loop. That's what I get out of Forza Motorsport. That's what I've always gotten out of these games. I will say this is a back to basics version of Forza. I felt like 7 kind of got a little flashy. You're dressing up your driver and you're doing all these different things. I feel like there was like loot boxes or something involved there. This is career mode, rivals, free play. There's multiplayer, very, very basic. There's cars. There are tracks. That's Forza. And so for some people who have been used to or have been recently jumping into Forza Horizon 5, this is a departure from that. It is totally different, actually, from Forza Horizon, and it's by design. And for me, I get to appreciate each game for what it is. And right now, as I'm playing Motorsport, I'm just diving into these cars, and I have to tell you guys, there's like 500 cars. That's all good. It's a bullet point on the back of the box. The standout for me are the tracks and the weather and the time of day. And even as I say that, I'm like, man, we used to watch those, like the E3 conferences where they'd put a car on the stage and they'd say, we've got weather effects and we've got rain.
We've made racing more epic and grand.
I know that it probably sounds totally lame. It's like, oh my gosh, look at the weather. But it's really amazing that you got all different sorts of like little drizzle, little light rainstorms. You got full on thunderstorms. And I'm telling you, it adds so much drama to the race as well as visually. I don't actually like racing in the daytime. I was about to write a whole-on review on how lame I thought this game looked because I realized I was racing with clear skies at noon, but things really amp up when you go sunset or nighttime and it's raining or it's fog and you introduce all these different variables to it. I had an opportunity to jump into a few multiplayer sessions where the people who were reviewing the game, we all got to jump in at the same time. And I'm telling you guys, it's rock solid. But it is a little intimidating, I will say, because there's people from all over the world, all different skill sets, jumping in at the exact same time. And if you're not really like comfortable, or if you really care about coming into first, maybe this isn't for you, but I checked my ego at the door and just had a blast racing against people. I know a lot of you are out there saying racing sim games just aren't for me, and I used to be there. I used to be the same way, but Forza Motorsport does a wonderful job of welcoming you in, and the scalability of difficulties and driving assist is really where things work here. It always has been the case with motorsport games. You can have a full-on driving line, which I highly recommend for newcomers. For me, I've been playing for a little while longer. I have not turned off the driving line altogether. I still use the braking line, so basically it tells me you're going a little too fast. You might want to pump the brakes so you can make this turn. That's where I'm at. But there's a whole slew of different options on the driving assist. You can turn on your ABS brakes, you can turn on your traction control and all these things so that it isn't too difficult for you. So that's on the driving assist side. But then there's also a couple of other tweaks that you can make. You can make the drivatars, which are your opponents, which, by the way, is this feature that I think they started with Forza Motorsport 5, where I have a drivatar out there, and it is this AI-controlled opponent that you will see that has been trained by how I drive, and I think that's fascinating. I don't know if it's real. It could be completely fake for all I know, but from what I know, my drivatar is out there, probably cutting you off on the inside of corners, probably ramming into the back of your car because, like, why are you braking so early? That's me, man. So my drivatar has been trained by the way that I drive. Your drivatar will be trained by the way that you drive, and you'll show up in my single player games. And I think that is so cool. So we've been pretty high on Forza so far, but it's not a perfect game. There's no such thing. And so I wanted to discuss maybe a little bit of the things I think are missing here a little bit. Some things I wish were a little bit more prevalent with Forza Motorsport. It's a pretty safe entry, I will say. Great graphics, great driving, great cars, great tracks. That's all. That's not to take away from anything there, but it doesn't necessarily push the boundaries really at all. In fact, it probably takes and strips away a lot of what was at Forza Motorsport 7. I do wish that there was a sort of a better and more prevalent celebration of the cars, and particularly my car collection. Kind of wish that there was more of like a warehouse that I could walk through or peruse that have all the vehicles that I've collected. But I would just like to see a little bit more. The one thing I will go back to, I talked about it with the drivatar thing. I just need to come back to it. I need to get it off my chest. This is going to totally come across as, oh my gosh, I've been playing Forza Motorsport like forever. And you know what? I have been, okay? And this kind of grinds my gears a little bit. The one thing that really gets to me is Forza, you got it right with Motorsport 6, this idea of the driving assist contributing to bonuses for your XP or your credits. Like, why did you take that away? So as an example, in 6, you got to choose if you wanted a full driving line, as you can now. You can go to braking line like I do now. But in 6, that would contribute to bonuses. If you made it harder on yourself, you got more credits. And that's gone. It's taken out of the driving assist. And I just don't get it. That's how you got me, man. I must be missing something. Please let me know in the comments below why they would do that. The bonuses are there. The drivatars, if they're more skilled, you get bonus credits. If you start to bundle these easy, medium, and hard kind of set of difficulty, that's where you start to get a little bit extra. But Here's the thing. I feel like driving without rewind is a great challenge to have, but the only way to get that is if you go to the hardest difficulty, where you also get all the damage, simulated damage, simulated tire wear and fuel consumption, along with no rewind, and along why can't I break those apart? And I don't understand. Maybe it makes it more accessible for people to choose easy, medium, hard. Maybe that's it. But I kind of wish that I could just flip on from the basic to the advanced setting. If I could just go in there and fine tune it, for me, that's what got me with 6. I really enjoyed graduating myself to a bigger payoff by slowly but surely making it a little bit more challenging, kind of one item by one item.
Now for my favorite part of the show. What's that say? Talk to the audience? Oh, God, this is always death.
We reached out to our community in the Carpool Gaming Discord, and they had a few questions here that I'm just going to build them into the review here. Shy Guy says, how is the sound design? Do you recommend headphones? The sound design is unbelievable. And actually, right here, I'm going to insert a video. I captured some footage from Forza Motorsport 7, and then also with Forza Motorsport 2023, same car, same track. You get to listen to that right now. Look at the difference of this. There's so much more bass and mid-range in there, and especially if you're listening to the review with headphones right now, if you're not, just go back and listen, give us another review, give us a like, make sure that you don't forget to do that. But the sound design is incredible and is actually representative of a moment where my sort of opinion of the game really went up a notch, because you expect Forza games to look and sound great, but it wasn't until I saw that comparison A to B where I went, holy crap, this is much better. We had a number of people ask about the difference between Horizon and Motorsport, and I'm thinking about my response here, and it's like, well, Horizon is open world, you're driving around, you're doing these crazy challenges, and it's a festival, and you're the star of the show, and Motorsport is none of that. What I found when I was playing Motorsport over this last week or so is that I'm so focused on the racing that I'm not getting distracted with really anything else. So, and I love Horizon. I've spent literally days of my life playing, particularly the last one, Horizon 5. But with Motorsport, I'm going from track to track. I'm a little bit more focused, I guess. I get a little bit more distracted, like shiny object over there with Horizon, and that's good, and that's a tremendous amount of fun. But it doesn't take away from the focus that you get with Motorsport. I'm sticking with my cars a little bit more. In fact, there's a great mechanic in a system where you level up with your car, and in Horizon that allows you to unlock kind of crazy perks. But with Motorsport, that's going to be how you get a better engine and upgrade the exhaust and all of those things, which might sound maybe hardcore from a simulator standpoint, but I look at it more like a RPG skill tree more than anything. There is a side of the tuning things that I don't really understand, but maybe I'll get to that in a second. But the upgrading the performance, replacing the parts, it's a pretty simple thing to understand. Getting you better brakes makes you stop faster. Get better engine parts makes you go faster. That makes sense. And you're basically spending what is essentially XP, like in any RPG or RPG-like, to make your car go faster. It's the tuning part that for me is where I get a little bit lost, where it wants to know gear ratios and differentials and all these things. I don't really know how to do that. I guess what I'm trying to say here is, if you're intimidated by the racing sim part, I tend to think of the sort of upgrading your car more like RPGs and the skill trees and that kind of thing. And then where there's a gap for me, there's the game allows me to address that gap with a wonderful community. So I never really feel like I'm missing anything. So that brings us to the end of our review for Forza Motorsport. Once again, thank you to Xbox Canada for the opportunity to review this game. I'm excited for you to jump into it. Please if you haven't already, like the video, subscribe to our channel. We're going to have more Forza Motorsport content coming right at you. Leave your comments below. Is there something that I missed? I will be answering every single question, every comment that is left down below. I'm so grateful that you took the time to watch the review. I hope you're excited about Forza Motorsport. It's coming to Game Pass. I played it on my Series X mostly, as well as my Series S, and a little bit on PC as well. If you'd like to hear more on my thoughts on Forza, I'm going to be talking about it on the Xbox Drive, our weekly Xbox podcast, right here on YouTube or on podcast services around the globe. But I think that's going to do it for us today. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.